stream go button, and I'm gonna wait like 20 minutes first. I'm going to wait 20 minutes, or not 20 minutes. I'll give it like a minute.
All right.
Because just has the backup thing. Oh yeah, that's right. When I stream, and when I'm fucking streaming, that gives me some time to put the chat on the screen.
Here, should I just close this?
Yeah.
Game.
Yep.
Here's a war. And when I stream, and when I'm fucking streaming, that gives me some time to put the chat on the screen.
Here, should I just close this?
Yeah.
Game.
Yep.
The show, it is live now. It's gonna be echoing like a motherfucker. Hey, motherfucker. Anyways, okay. There. Now I can pop up the chat. Not that I'm going to be paying attention to the chat. In fact, I don't plan this to be like some kind of super mega stream, but tum. Toodly tum.
Oh. Toodly tum.
Ta-tum. That's peculiar. Anyways, Za. Said Za in better time.
Bob Schneider.
Rib Schneider is a cute. Anyways, wanted to. Let's see if I hit this. Okay. We wanted to do basically just a review. There's not really any reason to stream this, but me and brother got the digital version
Digital.
of Kamen America 2, and I gotta say, my beloved copy. I love this file. This file is such a good computer file. It's the best computer file.
I'm thinking about framing this file.
Yes. I want to put this
I'm going to
file...
put it as my wallpaper.
I'm going to put it in my wallet. One of the things that I really wanted to go... Because a lot of people... The comics get blowing up like a motherfucker. It's becoming massively popular. Tons more other people on YouTube are reviewing it. But you know how other YouTube reviewers are. They're not us. They're not up to our level, of course.
They're scub. The total scub.
They're pro scub and anti scub, which is for sure bad.
Both at the same time. Holy shit, they suck.
They're so bad, it's terrible. They're worse than my wife's cooking. I love my wife.
Terrible.
But her cooking is so bad.
It's important to go over this.
Important, you could even say.
Important.
Well, the other reviews, you know, the normal cattle reviews, I suppose you could say.
They missed a lot of the points.
Although they get to a very good point where they actually talk about the content and how the story is good. Like how the characters go through events that have a commonality to them that ultimately culminates in a meaning or a crucial event that pays off the rest of the previous events, and it all connects and ties together. It's kind of shocking because you don't really expect that from comic books. I certainly don't expect it. Thing is,
I'm so used to it not happening.
Yeah, it's not even a matter of expectation. You don't get it in comics. In comic books, there's no story in most of them. Most comic books that are ever made don't even have a story. They don't even have a point. There's even like indie comics that I read like in the past that were just pointless. They were like, oh, it's a little crazy. And fucking...
At some point, you do have to wonder if that's the standard that's been set.
Yeah, but even there's an element of indie comics that are like art comics that also don't really have a story. Like they don't really tell a story. They just show a series of events. And whenever you find one that even tells anything like a story, it's almost kind of amazing. But with most of the comics that I even want to support or promote or look at, or I'm curious about or something, most of them just have no point to them. And one of the things that I always really liked about Kamen America, especially, and it's kind of true of the other ones, like the Walmart comics were just goofy fun. They did ultimately have a plot to them, but it was just about the satirical elements and goofing and being silly. Being silly. And one thing I wanted to mention is for some reason, our channel wasn't really around when Walmart 3 came out and was getting out there. So we couldn't really do a review about that, but also it would have been a conflict of interest. Because as it turns out, Walmart 3, very good, fun, an improvement even over the others, because the others were just sort of goofing around and stuff. But Walmart 3 was like more cohesive as even a narrative, even though it wasn't exactly, it was still supposed to be just sort of satirical goofing around. But then it had, the story where it's like, oh, the bad guys they're trying to abort baby liberty, post-term abortion. Um, and I have to say that, yeah, I think you could sort of see it's almost measurable the improvement in like storytelling in a comic that wasn't exactly meant to even have storytelling necessarily, but you could see it had even gotten better in Walmart 3. And I'm not even including the final 8 pages because that's where the conflict of interest really kicks into overdrive, going into overdrift
Overdrive.
and temporarily turning into a dinosaur. But
Just that
the last
overdrive.
8 pages were by essentially me and my brother. I did the scripting basically, but whenever we do a comic together, whenever I do a comic, it's almost like inherently a collaborative process, even if my brother doesn't do like any of the grunt work. I've been writing scripts for a while though, so I knew what I was doing, and actually, I watched Mark Pellegrini on the Bunderdome last night. He was doing a video about like editing scripts and like sort of the editing process, the grand nightmare of comic script editing and that kind of shit.
It's a
And
very
he,
important. It's an underrated element
yes,
of all creation.
yeah, the editing process, because like proofreading and going back and revising and the whole revision process and looking at what you made or what sometimes somebody else made, because that's one thing he was also talking about was doing editing for other people's books. But one of the reasons why he brought up our comic was the that me and brother wrote the backup story for Walmart 3, and that so basically he did the editing for that, and it's like not much had to even be done or changed or edited necessarily, which is also nice. Although he did one thing I noticed is that he put in references to the previous stories and that kind of thing, and I think that was really that was cool that he was able to keep up with the continuity, because I was just basically like throwing in our fucking bizarre fucking off the wall stuff, and it was cool to see him talk about that for a few minutes on last night's stream. So you should check out the Bunder Dome on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, you should be able to catch this video on YouTube. Anyway, so that's our quick review. I wanted to do a quick review of some of the comics that we missed out on. I was thinking of mentioning Rags because I went to the comic store yesterday also, because I wanted to see if any of the Tim and Mark books would be on the shelf, and I didn't find any, but I did find Rags, and if I was going to find any, it would be near the Rags. It was Rags 7/7, so I bought that, and I was
Yeah, is
thinking
there
of
like an independent? Is there some kind of where was that? Was it because I wasn't there,
it's
so I
basically
assume it's
just
like
on
an
the
independent
right
section.
shelf. It's on the shelf to the right, because on the not like if you're facing the door, to exit, it's on the right, but if you're entering, then it's on the left. But they kind of have a small couple of shelves for the new releases. On one side of the door is the Marvel and DC just has those shelves, and then on the others is like Image, IDW, and the very occasional releases for Antarctic. And it was interesting to see that Rags was there, but you didn't read it yet. And I figured, I mean, if we're
No,
gonna actually do a review, I posted a bunch of
I'm
comments.
trusting your opinion. You gave me your opinion on it after you read it, and I decided, you know what? I'll trust your opinion.
You can trust my opinion. Well, the thing is, I would say you should still read it to see, especially because it's short. They're easy reads at least to kind of fire through, and there's action, and there's good art. But I figure, we're not gonna fucking come here and just like review Rags. So, one of the things I wanted to say about Common America was not even to review it necessarily, but to go over the secret lore, the hidden secrets within Common
The hidden
America.
figures. You might
Hidden
call them the
figures, more
hidden
like,
figures.
oh wait, no. But
Mhm.
the thing is that it's easy to say that the book's good because it has a good story and it has like a good, it's too easy to say, oh, it has a good message. Then it reminds me of that dumb gay fucking scene in Metal Gear Solid 3 where you call it paramedic and she starts talking about Godzilla and she's like, it has a good anti-nuke message. And it's like, yeah, I've been nuking shit left and right in this fucking game. I don't give a fuck about anti.
I'm,
How about a good
I'm
pro
nuking
nuke
the
message?
I'm nuking the entire forest.
Yeah, where do you like? It's so easy. It's the fucking easiest virtue signal for a fucking story to have a good anti-nuke message. Where's a good pro nuke message? I want to see that. You
It's
know
got a
where?
good anti-war message. Yeah, it's anti-war. We've
Yeah,
heard the message.
heard it. Hey, I get it.
It's kind of like the left.
Yeah,
It's like they seriously think they just haven't gotten the word out
yeah,
yet.
it's played out. The thing is that in Common America too, I don't even see it as that. It's just like the events of the story play out to show how the chick has these weird situations going on in life where it's sort of about the perception of almost getting stuck in your own head, but at the same time there are tons of references to Comicsgate, and I guess it's almost bad
I almost
form to
consider
just
the
spell it
story
out.
to be the story is practically about what it's like to be an independent comic creator.
The Yeah, yeah, that's kind of how the story looks, but also it works just on its own level of a lady who she wants to be a sort of fashion designer, and through crazy happenstance, and it's a sort of a freewheeling goof thing, that it's
It's
not
certainly
meant
something
to be.
it's not a message you'd ever see done anywhere else or by anyone else.
Yeah, it's also not like an intensely serious story. It's more like borderline Saturday morning cartoon kind of adventure fun, and it just nails that tone really nicely. But even has a few tonal shifts that usually wouldn't fit. That would be just a complete break and a fucking disaster, but work really well in this. And we'll probably get into that a little bit. But really, what I want to do is um, do a review where we just point out all the various references, like to just spell it out too much, which this comic doesn't do,
I
and you
actually
can
was
still enjoy
That's
it
the thing
without
is
needing
I was
that.
kind of hoping to be able to like have one of them maybe just mark so that maybe he could explain some of these references
Well,
because
here's the
there's
thing is
some
that I
kind
don't
of
think we
bad
need
ones
him to,
built in
because
there.
we ourselves understand exactly what they are, even if nobody else does. Like, I know exactly what some of these references are. And again, some of them are just references, but a lot of them are like kind of the basis for the story being told. But the story basically starts off with Kamen America, I think, like sort of graduation, prom, whatever, where she's there, and and she's talking about like her fashion designs and stuff, and how most people are wearing them. In fact, did I fucking even include the Thomas and Laley fucking reference in this? I'm not sure, but I just took screen caps of like the references to other things. Like the first thing I took was in the first few pages, um, Common America, or Carly Vanders, is complaining about some other chick who's like, more popular or something. And she says her work ethic is terrible and she always comes out ahead. I can't stand it. That right there is kind of a direct reference to a lot of people in Comicsgate who and I know some people would be like, no, it's not a reference, but it is. And it's not a direct like putting the finger on it. It's sort of a little bit of a tie-in. It's just it's not like this comic is about Comicsgate. It's not that. And that's one of the things I like about this is it doesn't really
It
just
makes sure
dwell
not to
on that.
fall into that trap, that pitfall
Because that's
of
what the other
making it
people do.
about
Like,
just the one thing.
yeah, you notice that that's actually a lot of what the Comicsgate people do is that they drive the entire like the only events in their story are directly based on their self-victimization or whatever. And in this, it's actually it sort of
For
takes
them,
that.
that shit always it comes through
Yeah,
so much more than anything else that you can see in the comic. It's always the author is always a self-insert.
yeah, but also it's like I got stabbed in the back, and so in the comic, their main character is literally getting stabbed in the back by something. It's like they look at how they got betrayed, and it's just this fucking like self-victimizing bullshit. This in Common America 2, it is actually so much more self-aware and so much smarter in the writing about how about like Carly basically is sort of almost seeing herself as being betrayed or like coming this close to self-pitying or just being annoyed. Um, and the story ultimately is about not, learning to not dwell on that or not like, blame everyone else for your problems or,
It's more overarching. It's more big picture.
while also acknowledging that yes, the those self-victimizing people are fucking the people who are well in this case like the work ethic is terrible. That's a lot of reference to Comicsgate where a lot of people in Comicsgate make a lot of money and then don't even deliver their comic. They run off with the comic. They're just selling bullshit. Like you can see, and fucking Tim and Mark really put their money where their mouth is, where they're actually, and it's not just like Ethan Van Sciver in reference, but also Mitch with the the just complete fucking disaster
They'll
of
pick a
regular
name
Street.
out of a fucking hat.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
it's their entire fucking. It's their entire movement. It's their entire existence.
You can even point to some people who left Comicsgate and that kind of shit, where
Or
their
they
work
got
ethic is not
they
really any
got
better
kicked
either.
out. They were removed from Comicsgate.
Yeah, which now includes Liam, of course, but we won't get into that because there's other videos about that with other people making that shit. And I have to say though,
I don't want them. I don't want them to poison this great review with their disgusting
yes,
existence.
their horrific faggotry. This cute kitty was stunned by their faggotry, but um, at the same time, one of the things I really wanted to talk about this was the direct mentions and references. Of the next panel that I saved though is just double fucking ass ahoy. In fact, wait, hold on, because
It's
it's
one of the lessons we seem to have taught them, which is that there's got to be some objectification,
we
some male
we taught
gaze.
them that. Yeah,
We taught them.
we
We
did
taught
that.
them how important that was. They weren't doing that until we said that they should.
But well, one thing is that the comic, while there's all the secret references and of the Easter eggs, a lot of people have been. In fact, that's almost become a meme about the comic. Is look at how many Easter eggs and references there are to people in these. Um, One thing I do want to point out is that I don't think I even I saved them. Of course, I have them, but I don't think they're in this folder. But every comic since I think Black Ops 2 has a Laylee Easter egg in it, and they've only been getting bigger and bigger to the point where in Common America, I'll make sure to show this before we fucking end the review at some point, but in Common America 2, Thomas and Laylee, the characters, just straight up show up in the background.
In fact, they're in two separate panels.
Two
They're
separate
both
specific
together
panels.
in two separate panels, and it's near the beginning of the story too.
He even got, yeah, and he even got the height difference correct. Hashtag height difference for the e hentai tag. But but in this, I just saved this panel because it's in fact, let me zoom out a bit. But it shows that the comic is still about like crazy, goofy monster fighting and fun action and that kind of thing.
Well, it's not about that, but it just happens to have that. It has enough of it so that it holds your attention.
Yeah, there's actually plenty. Like if you just want to see some fun monster fights in a comic, it's got that, but it's got so much more, which is why again I really loved,
I mean, let's
legitimately
face
loved
it.
Kamen America
If
1.
all you're doing is a monster fight, there was a certain person who said something along the lines of a special effect is a pretty boring thing
Yeah.
without a story.
Yeah. You know what?
It's always better to have a story.
That guy may have had a point at some time. One of the things though I like it is that there's still like as far as Easter eggs and stuff. There's some guy apparently wearing a BLM shirt who's just recording on the phone, most likely to be like, oh look how she's ruining. She's got mud all over this stuff because they're fighting. But I laughed in the background. I don't know if you can even see it, but the up here the just the Star Cucks fucking sun I thought was funny, which is like not even necessarily an Easter egg. It's just like a goofy in joke. But I just laughed at that. And then afterwards, they're like, "Oh, nobody cares," and the new sidekick who is actually introduced in Black Ops 3, which I think is cool. It's a cool way that it's a shared universe that wasn't forced. It's like they did like Black Ops and Black Ops 2, and then Common America just sort of were like, hey, she can just show up at the end of Black Ops 2, right? And then all of a sudden there's a direct tie-in. Now they have this entire shared universe. And it's like, if you don't even like Black Ops, then you can still like Common America, or if you don't like Common America, you can still like Black Ops, or if you just like both, then you have all this extra fucking content.
Most likely, you like both. They're really popular.
One thing I thought that was funny about this was after the fight. Yeah, that's another thing that's worth pointing out though is yeah their popularity is just blowing up more and more because
and it's not based on some kind of self promotion movement either,
or a scam movement or a cult of like mentally weak loser nerds.
I mean, even then, best case scenario, a movement that's supposed to help promote new independent comics, but isn't doing that. Instead, is just some kind of grift movement.
Yeah, for stuff that never gets
movement.
released, like comics that, again, comics by people with a terrible work ethic. That's a thing. That's why Tim and Mark are independent even from the independents because they just get the work done. They fucking make it exist, and they have the books to show for it, and so everything's just building more and more. And I think that's fucking fantastic. I also like this though, where
it's something that should be appreciated more.
Yeah,
and isn't.
But it's starting to be. It's actually starting to be fucking despite anything. Is
It
that
tends
more
to be
and
that
more
kind of
people?
thing. It pays off in the long run. Having integrity and principles.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's hard to stick to when it's easy to say, "Well, I'll make more money right now if I just."
In fact, I was posting that. I was posting something about that from the Instapundit to our Discord, our wonderful Discord.
Yeah, our Discord, which by the way, our Discord actually has more reviews of comics, but it's just daily, so it's like you have to keep up with it.
We don't have to make videos.
Yeah, it's easier, but the thing is that it's also it's easier for the content to get lost. But that's for me, it's like I don't give a shit.
The thing is though,
the Instapundit stuff though. There's that.
Oh yeah, it was like sucker syndrome or some shit, and it's basically about just when you see so many people who are literally violating the law and getting away with it. It's natural for people who see that and wonder, why do I play by the rules if these people don't and they benefit from it?
Mm-hmm. So
it's like a logical
I'll do that
fallacy.
Then. I could do that. I can write a blog. I have thoughts. But anyways, one of the things I thought was funny.
It's important for people though to understand that it's a logical fallacy.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's not real, or rather, it's
it's
not real. It's something that it doesn't really work.
it
And
is a
in
syndrome.
particular,
Yeah,
these people will not get away with it. It's just like the fucking. It's like the election. I mean, fucking Biden may end up becoming president, but what do you think people are going to say about him, even if he wins? All they're going to say about him is, okay, he cheated. He
like
doesn't deserve to
if
be
he gets
there.
elected, it will be to greater disaster than if he just lost. Which is,
Not to
in a way,
mention the fact that
if you hate the Democrat Party, you should actually want Biden to win because it's going to backfire so much worse. And yeah, this is in a way,
just look at the House and the Senate too. They lost all of that, which is very suspicious. Usually that never happens.
especially for like a winning president. But anyways,
The
uh,
winning president usually also gets like a bunch of other representatives
but this is also what
in with him.
the secret references in this comic are also about that in like a global sense. You don't have to say it's about Comicsgate specific.
Yeah, this is
It's
again the
about
big
the
picture.
global big picture ideas, and in a way that makes the even the hidden messages in giant snare quotes, hidden messages, hidden figures in this comic that much more universal and meaningful, actually, which is quite
Hidden
nice.
figures
Hidden
or hidden
figures. No,
figures,
not that.
maybe
um,
also known as hidden figures.
figures, but
Figures. It figures.
it, but the one of the things I liked about this panel was a weird little mention by Kamen Comet, who's the Russian sidekick girl, who says, "We've been fighting monsters for weeks. People are probably just bored. That's all." And it's like it reminded me immediately of Apollo 13, but it also reminded me of, in fact, to the point where last night I just start watching Apollo 13 clips and shit. I was like, boy, what a great movie.
That was a great
But
movie.
at the beginning of it, like they don't even televise the launch or anything, or any of the goofy stuff they're recording in the capsule, because like it's been done, and nobody cares. And of course that turns around when there's all of a sudden there's a fucking explosion. But it reminds me also of comic books where the rigmarole I've seen you do it with my own 2 feet. The just the whole like doing the same old monster grind, beating up the same old bad guys, how it just would easily get tiring and how it's not entertaining. It's almost like it's like a very super secret fourth wall reference about like the droning of your typical comic book story that's just about beating up a monster or a bad guy or something, and there's
Watching,
really nothing else to it.
Check out Spider-Man kicking this D-list villain or this faceless mook.
Mm-hmm. And
Isn't
that's
that
that's the
so
story.
dope?
What's the theme of your story? Well, the good guy punches the bad guy, but that's not a theme. But he punches him. It's just boring. And even people who want to support that and say, "Oh, we want to go back to classic heroes," even they ultimately, clearly, are just kind of bored of it all too. Um, so, in a way, I'm not saying that this is a reference to that kind of thing. It's just something that struck me personally. Perhaps it is a reference. This, on the other hand, the the guy who sort of looks like Deku, actually, but is Nero Lansky, which is a very obvious reference to not only Ethan Van Sciver but also Mitch Breitweiser. But Nero, of course, as in like Nero the Caesar, and then Lansky as in Meyer Lansky, the Jewish mobster, the Jewish mobster, the women of races, if you
Coincidentally
coincidentally.
Jewish.
But yeah, he's the PR guy who was, in the previous issue was trying to manage the whole thing. One thing I also noticed about his sunglasses, it's an interesting detail and just kind of stands alone, though, is that his sunglasses throughout this comic more regularly, like will have a little icon in the sort of the glint of the sunglasses that sort of shows the emotion. Like sometimes there'll be a dollar sign or an exclamation point or something like that, and it's kind of like a funny little a funny little note to check out. Um, but yeah, so the he mentions a monster's only interesting as the hero who slays it, and he's using that to say that Common America and stuff are boring because, of course, there's that element of bitterness, which yeah, here's
That's very typical.
he has
Yes,
like sort of
it is.
sweat dorpish eye glasses or in his sunglasses.
Swirly
Um,
glasses.
he mentions he meets up with this secret bad guy, and I'm not giving showing up the screen caps to spoil that, but I'm just showing bits and pieces of the comic because it's good enough. The whole review of this comic of Kamen America 2 is it's a great comic. Go buy it. There, that's the end of the review. So, anyways, if you really had been watching this whole time to try and find out, oh, is the comic good? You're fucking really wasting your time.
Barking up the wrong
The
tree.
wrong tree. Because there's so many other. But that's the thing is that the comics become so popular that there's a bunch of other people reviewing it. You can go check their videos out and shit if you want to, but you don't even need to. Just look at the actual hype that's generating, not from any false promises of of how the comic's supposed to save the industry or weird self-contradictory false promises of how the comic's supposed to save the industry and then followed by I never said that I want the comic to save the industry. That's wrong. I would never say that by somebody who had said that in the past on video live on stream and then goes and deletes the streams and all that kind of fucking goofy shit.
How
If you
much can you trust somebody who deletes their streams on a regular? Not even having their streams deleted, they're deleting their own streams, deleting their own work.
It's really not a world of men anymore. And again, that's one of the things that I liked about that. When I read Common America 2, I saw all the references to Comicsgate and that kind of thing, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I thought Common America 2, I'm sure when I read the first one, it was like it had all that, and when I read the second one, I was like, is it gonna go light on that? Do they get that out of their system, or are they gonna fucking are they going to make a few lighter references, or they're going to tone it down, or are they going to keep going with it? And instead, they went like full sicko mode, and I had to really appreciate that because they didn't because it was kind of one of my favorite things was all the sort of secret messages in a way
The
of telling the
themes,
story, essentially
there
telling
are
the story of the
themes.
bullshit they had to deal with like the cult of comic book fans of like really delusional, compulsive, pathological lying people in the comic book fandom and in the industry, but also in the indie industry, which a lot of people don't even keep up with, aren't aware of, aren't honest enough to admit to. And in a way, that's the thing I liked about Common America the most is that it had all of that just sort of secretly laid in with a story that was still just a story with still fun action and nice lots of cheesecake and those the extra not fan art but like sort of commissioned bonus covers and back covers and stuff that are really extra spicy and nice. um Someone or Luster Dog mentions Mark in one of the writer tip episodes was sad that you don't think he's funny. Lol. I don't even remember saying that. I don't think he's funny. I just don't like I don't see him as like a massively comedic writer so much, or that the books are
There's
hilarious.
there's good humor in the book.
Yeah,
What's that
in the other
about?
books, there's a good sense of tone. I just it's hard to find any comic book that's actually funny at all. Thing is though that
It's not Come Town. It's
yeah,
not Come
yeah,
Town.
like
It doesn't need to be Come
my
Town.
standard is like Jim Norton going off about how much he hates the happy dog for the kid who got the Xbox 360 and how he hoped the dog ran out into traffic and got fucking splattered by a semi truck and the dog's
It
dick was
just
hard and shot off across the neighbor's lawn and stuck to the fucking mailbox so the neighbor thought he had outgoing mail.
Yeah, you're not
That
gonna
to
find any
me,
humor like that. That's not gonna be in Common America.
yeah,
If you're looking for that kind of humor in Common America, you will not find it.
I'm but I don't exactly hold a comic book to that standard. It doesn't have to reach that standard of fucking ridiculous shit. But
Or like when Anthony Cumia was talking about how much he just hates movie posters. He'll stare at movie
oh
posters and
yeah,
just
in anger, he
just
was talking
hate
about
them.
like the I pronounce you Chuck and Larry, just staring at that movie poster in a rage in traffic, and just becoming increasingly more angry as he just looks at it. He was just so fucking furious. And then they start talking about other movie posters that they just hate, like, or like, box covers or
I
whatever. Like,
I love trouble.
I
Yeah,
love trouble. Just the
going
title of
to
that was
yeah,
enraging them.
just going to the video store and looking at the covers of boxes for VHS tapes back in the day, and just hating, just being so angry.
Or it recently, like, we haven't even been doing streams or videos, mainly because doing streams or videos is gay as shit. But lately, like, I've finally got into Cumtown, and I
First off,
fucking
great name.
so, like, for instance, like, one of the first videos that actually did it for me, because I saw a few others before, and I was like, okay, I get why some people like this, but what finally got me into it was a video about RoboCop Batman, and it's like, really, and I had expectations, like, okay, I know
Normally, you
exactly
hear
what this
anyone
is
else
gonna be
do that.
like.
Normally, you hear anyone. It's very related to this review. Normally, you hear anyone else do that, and it's like, oh, that's a terrible idea. This is going to be agonizing
Or
to
it's going
listen
to be
to.
just like goofy premise, like what if RoboCop? But then instead, what
It's
it
just
is
like an
like
easy carrot.
easy carry. But
It's
instead, what it is like fucking.
Kennison is a stapler.
They're talking about Spedders, which was some other Paul Verhoeven movie he did before,
That's
in the
that's
'80s, and then he does RoboCop, and Nick Mullen was like, well, if it's RoboCop, but that scene in the remake where they show him like what's left of him, just like his lungs and one arm and stuff, and it's like, what if instead of that, if they just gave him a bigger dick and they show him that, and he goes, hell yeah, and that's the entire bit, and I was fucking
the whole
immediately
joke.
just fucking that's the entire joke, and I'm just laughing, and then. And then, like, from there, the bit is like he starts killing everyone, all the doctors in his family, whoever knew that he had a regular sized dick before that. He's like, "Should you delete the files?" And it's like, wait, why are you Batman now? Because I'm Batman now. And all of a sudden, it jumps into just goofing on fucking Batman for some reason becoming gay and having sex with a chick. I
And that's
know that
also
your
the
penis
that's
used to be
also
regular.
that's also the fucking joke. It's the common premise of a billion other jokes. Is what if X was gay?
Yeah, that's
They're
pretty
one
much
of
what
the few
Cumtown is.
people.
That's to the point where, like, even they just start laughing at the premise of how stupid it is. Is like, what if X was gay? And then just, or almost saying the N word. And it's just fucking,
Yeah,
it's the dumbest shit
and
ever. And
you'll
I've
never hear.
just
This
been
is the
addicted
future
to
of
it.
comedy. This is why the Daily Show is boring. It's because they won't do that. They won't just laugh at what if Batman, Robo Batman, beautiful actress
Beautiful
Robo
actress Robo
Batman.
Batman, and it's called Showgirls 2 RoboCop Batman. It's just like the entire bit is just
Because
fucking
it's Paul
ridiculous.
Verhoeven. Because
So
it's Paul Verhoeven, of course.
when I
Also,
when I read any comic with any comedy, that's the standard I'm holding it to, and it is pretty much
so yeah,
impossible, even for funny people, to reach that standard.
Mark Pellegrini is not funny.
That's why Mark Pellegrini is not funny. No,
Now do you understand?
but my point is that, yeah, that's the standard I'm holding it to when I'm gonna laugh at anything. Because I mean, for a long time, even stuff I thought was funny, I would never laugh at. Like in my teenager years, I would just be like, "This is really funny," but I would never be
We're
laughing.
really jaded, but we also, in our teenage years in particular, kind of depressed.
We're so jaded, baby. But yeah, I mean, that's how we've always just kind of been like, though, is that I don't laugh at a lot of stuff, but when I do, it's usually something completely fucking retarded. Um, and you can't really structure that in a comic book without it usually going off the rails and just destroying the
Well,
story.
especially that you might harm your own fucking career. doing fucking jokes about
Yeah.
how Batman is gay. It's the biggest tragedy.
You're
Batman is
gay
now
now.
gay.
Fucking,
It's Joker's. You fell into my
you
trap. The
fell into my
Joker's
trap, Batman.
his ultimate death trap.
Yes, the
It's like
ultimate
he made Batman gay.
was making Batman gay. What if Batman was gay? Yeah. Usually that would like fucking, you have to actually go so I think cocaine helps in that sense with
You can
Gumtown.
hear them sniffing and
Yes,
snorting
yeah, or
throughout
coughing
the
like
show.
a coke cough or something. From what I
Okay,
hear, in the comments they mention
again, you're not going to fucking ever catch that on the Daily Show
the
or
Bailey
fucking
shit.
whatever. John Oliver
Yeah, just these lecturing faggots. The thing is that um,
lecturing to your cuck.
the thing I like about the Common America comics and that stuff, especially Common America though, is that it's not that it has to be funny or that it is funny or anything. It's that I just like reading it so much.
It's a
I
really
like what it's
lighthearted
about.
read. It's easy. It's an easy and enjoyable read. Again, with some of those comics, some of those bad comic skate
Yeah,
comics,
with
they're
Comicsgate
agonizing.
comics, there's
It's
there's no
torture.
content, there's no story, there's like no dimension to the character. The characters don't have any personality.
Literally zero dimensions.
Yes,
Because
zero dimensional
you
characters.
can't even call it one dimensional because that would actually be praise. That would be
Yes,
praising the work.
they the characters in Comicsgate's comics don't rise to the level of one dimensional. No, most of them have never written comics before, but the ones who have never wrote a good comic before either. So, I mean, a lot of them
You
were
can tell
artists
that's
too.
another big important difference here is you can tell they want to make this. They
Mhm.
want to make this comic. They want to make it
Yeah,
successful
Kamen
on its
America
own
is
merit.
the kind of comic that you could tell Comicsgate wants to make and thinks they can make, but they can't make it because they don't have any sense of
Well,
storytelling or
they
structure.
want they don't want to make a comic. They just
Yeah.
want to be rich.
Yeah, they
They
want to
want
make
to
an
make a
IP.
bunch
And
of
in fact,
money off
the
of
the
gullible
thing
pay
that's
pigs
on
for
screen right
no effort.
now is the Meyer Lansky, I mean Nero Lansky, talking about that last. He's talking to the secret main villain bad guy chick all along, saying that last monster was something else. Aces loved it. We already got two toy companies on the line for the IP. Um, that's something that also it's a direct joke on Comicsgate where they don't want to make comics, they don't want to really make anything, they just want to make an IP they can cash in on. So they don't care about their comics, they don't care about telling a story. And it's universal for everyone in Comicsgate because if it wasn't, they wouldn't be in Comicsgate. They would just be making the comics, and most of the people in Comicsgate don't make anything at all. They're just trying to create an IP that somebody else can make. In fact, you see the way that they just farm out the business. They get somebody else to write it. Some of them are just getting other people to draw it too, which goes to show they don't fucking have any creativity. They want
Like
to
I don't
get
even
other people who are
understand. You want to
creative.
make a comic, but you're like getting somebody else to write it, and it's clear when they do that, they're not getting somebody who they think has a great story or anything. They're just getting somebody cheap.
Yeah, they're just getting somebody who
Like
will scribble some words.
how little can I pay somebody so that they can do the work for me?
Um,
And it's like, why not do it yourself then?
But also, when it comes to building an IP, first of all, if you're really going to build an IP, you want to fucking have something that's fun, interesting, creative, worthwhile, has a fucking point to it. Um, and Common America, in a way, is its own sort of thing. I wanted to sort of show this is that their sort of transformation sequences. Common America to prove the justice of our culture, I will vanquish you, which I only found out or was reminded recently was a
Yeah,
reference
it's
to
a
the Ghostbusters
Ghostbusters
video
NES
game,
game.
the awful Ghostbusters video game, which I remember playing. I remember fucking like taking that giant like 20 block walk up to the fucking rental place to get the Ghostbusters video game, like to play on a friend's or to watch a friend play it on the Nintendo, and it was like just so bad we all got depressed. We're like, oh, we're like depressed 8 year olds.
Because it's not a fun game to play.
And another thing though is that as much as Common America herself is hot and cute and she seems like she would be a nice friend. It's actually I think Common Comet is actually the hot one. She even has a hot catchphrase, which is "I'm going to murder you."
Man, that is hot.
Yeah, like Common America is sort of the friendly, nice one. She would be a nice girl to be a friend with, and then Common Comet is the girl that you dog fuck. Um, but anyways, some of the other
hot Russian bitch,
piece
whore,
of
gold
bitch,
gold digger,
and that's what you are. But also,
and you just proved it.
there's also like speaking of extra, like the Easter eggs. There's actually an Easter egg of Micah, the one of the extra retarded guys, who is especially stupid, I guess you could say, in Comics Gate phraseology, who I think was friends with Liam because they were like on every show together for a while, and now Liam is officially not part of Comicsgate. Liam's going around. I just saw a clip today from one of Liam's streams where he says, "I'm not Comicsgate. I'm not part of Comicsgate, and this is not a Comicsgate show. And I don't want you bringing up that Comicsgate anymore. And I don't want you bringing up Nasser anymore.
Don't mention the
Please
name.
respect my wishes." Like he's demanding respect while being a faggot bitch, and like not earning respect, not deserving it.
Not deserving of respect.
Yeah, that apparently Comicsgate never learned. Nobody in Comicsgate ever learned that what we said fucking back years ago in the Comic Liberty days, back in 2015 in the Gamergate days. That respect
Because
is
we're
only
actually part of
earned.
Gamergate.
Respect is earned, not given. That's
But
one of
most
the things that we
especially,
knew
we're part
before
of
Gamergate
Gamergate.
did.
I know specifically that they weren't part of Gamergate. Because if they were, I would have heard of them.
Yeah. A lot of these people.
I know who they were.
Yeah, some of these people go around claiming that they were part of Gamergate, but none of them were. Not a single one of these other people were part of
Meanwhile, what's
Gamergate
like one of
because
the
we were in
first
Gamergate.
really big, most popular, most well-known videos about Gamergate is fucking McTurr, Internet Aristocrat, back when he was known as an Internet Aristocrat.
Yeah, before he became Mr. Medicare, but
And who was in his fucking video?
yeah, a screenshot from the shitty webcomics blog was in one of his videos, and you don't see anything from any
I
of these
didn't,
other people.
I didn't see their blog screenshotted in his fucking video.
Anyways, but anyways, yeah. So the Micah guy, big fat retard Micah, who is, I think he also pretends to be a comic creator, but he's not, of course. He's never fucking made any comic that anyone gives a shit about. But he gets an Easter egg reference also, as well as being a reference to Comicsgate. The new character shows up. I think it's Kamen UN, which is the I keep calling him almost Meyer Lansky, but the Nero Lansky character shows up with the new hero that he's branded called Kamen UN. And then there's even like arguments about the trademarking of the word common, and there's like oh, we can't fucking do anything about this because it's a common word and that kind of thing. But so the crowd, as soon as she gets shown off, there's a crowd of like fat nerds, of course, who are just complete sycophant cultist bootlicks. By nature, they are that genetically.
You could just call them comic book fans.
You could just call them comic book fans, but one of them, of course, is like one of them's Micah, and the other is a sort of a reference, in a way, a mixed reference to Mr. Alpha T from the Nurkish videos, which was also basically a mix of John Malin and Ethan Van Sciver, and basically comic book fans in general. And he's wearing a shirt that just says "consume," which is also not really a direct reference to that whole Red Letter Media joke about don't ask questions, just
it's a
consume
bit more
product.
of a reference to They Live, which is again is something that we say a lot too, is to make sure to swallow the red sunglasses from They Live.
Yes. Anyways, yeah. So the one guy saying her armor is so cool, and that's all that matters. And finally, here to fight those monsters after, of course, Common America and pals now had already been teaming up in public. It's really about it goes to show with with the fans is that all they really care about is the attention. They don't really care about what's real or not. They just care about the hype and the narrative. Like as comic book, or as specifically Comic Skate is. Like Comic Skate is basically
They're
slaves
like,
to a false
yeah,
narrative,
it's like they're fickle to the point of like
being offended.
fundamentally not getting the point.
Yeah, but but also yeah, one of Common UN's talking points are after all, borders are just a social construct. You can't see them from space now, can you? And so yeah, Common America shows up. There's also a reference to Otis Stein here.
Yeah,
It's not
somebody
even really showing up here, but whatever. The
what?
she she's like, oh, you can't use the name Common. We're using it, and he says it's a common. Common is a common Japanese word. You can't trademark it, which is sort of a reference to the whole Preston Poulter situation with trademarking Comicsgate, mainly because the word Comicsgate was supposed to be trademarked by someone else who was supposed to be in Comicsgate, but only if it was going to be put on a product. And it's very weird how hypersensitive a lot of people got about it, to the point where people even got angry and whiny if like Preston wouldn't be on their show to talk about it. Like I've seen people throw effeminate bitch fits over the fact that Preston wouldn't be on their show, which is kind of funny because it goes to show that some of them think I'm so big, you should be on my show. You're wrong for that, which goes to show that it's for them. It's like as portrayed here, it's really about the public relations aspect of that, and not about what matters. But yeah, he says maybe that's a word. Maybe that word better suits a minor leaguer like you, Common America, and fucking and also you had your chance, kid, and you blew it. Don't come groveling to me to let you back in. That right there is a direct reference to Ethan Van Sciver, because he says that pretty regularly.
A direct quote, even. It's
Yeah.
a verbatim quote.
It's a verbatim quote from Ethan Van Sciver about he's gone to people and said that as far as I think he said that in direct specific reference to Tim and Mark, but he's also said it to other people who got kicked
It goes
out.
to show, if you think that somebody can't be a cartoonish enough villain,
Yeah, just look at
guess
real
what?
life.
It turns out there are human beings out there who are even more cartoonish.
Yeah, and shallow and even one dimensional. But also, then this panel even has another reference. In fact, the sort of suspicious dick nose that this guy on the side here has, when he says these.
I noticed the mouth shape too.
Yeah, the sort of fruity mouth shape. These shades say they're made from real polyradex, and he says 99.9% polyradex guaranteed. That's a direct reference to Ethan Van Sciver's ribbit coin fraud and fiasco, which he was able to back himself off of by blaming another company for doing it, even though Ethan Van Sciver was on streams multiple times saying that the ribbit coins were 99.9% pure silver.
Basically, he was fooled. He was tricked very easily.
Yeah, like as if he has a low IQ and he's not even a very good comics creator.
He fell
He's just
for
a
an
drawer.
extremely obvious ploy.
Yeah, which personally I don't believe. I think it's pretty obvious that he knew ahead of time that it wasn't a real. The coins weren't real silver. He just didn't care. But yeah,
the fact that he was telling people they were 99%.
Yeah,
99.9% silver when in fact they were just half dollars.
Yeah, they were just regular half dollars worth. I think they were 75% copper and 25% nickel, and so it was like 0% silver.
Basically, pretty common.
Yeah, common metals, not precious metals. And the thing is that unless you know for sure, it goes to show why unless you personally are handling that, unless you know for sure, you really shouldn't go around saying those things because then you're a scam artist and fraud. Anyways, in
What kind of
fact,
degenerate would do something like that?
what kind of weird homosexual degenerate? But also, in fact, Kamen America here even says, "What you're a fraud. Polyradex is a microfiber blended fabric, like what we use for our sashes. Unless these shades are sewn, they're just cheap plastic." And Kay actually shows up to start grilling him and says, "Oh, is that true?" And he says, and of course, this is another direct reference to Ethan Van Sciver. Which I almost don't want to like point out every single reference, every joke on Comicsgate or Ethan or the other people, or sort of a mix because not all
In
of these
fact,
are specifically supposed to be
we can't
Ethan.
even point out all the references because there's so many.
But the thing is
Some
that
of
I
them
don't want to
hit
make it
Easter
look
egg
like the book is
references.
entirely jokes or references about Comicsgate or Ethan because I just basically all I did was I cherry picked specific panels out of like I was going to say this like this isn't a 40-page book. It's like almost 60 pages, isn't it? Or something like that.
Is it? Because it felt like 20.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
was
It
so
breezes through,
it
but
was
it's actually
so
a pretty
easy
big
to
book.
read.
Yeah.
It was so fun, so easy to read, and I ripped through it. I ripped through it about as quickly as I go through any other comic.
I like how Kay has a hair antenna, just like Common America does, except she is a
Hair
redhead
antenna.
with battle bun perhaps, but she was a journalist in the previous Common America, and now she's also showing up in this, which is quite nice. Um, But another thing that Comicsgate was known for doing, when getting caught in a fraud or scamming people or being late again and again, what they would do is pull the misdirection, the old misdirection ploy. So when being asked, and I've actually done this to Ethan Van Sciver personally, um, where I asked him, very specific pointed questions, and what he does is changes the subject. And usually,
He
what
gives a
happens there is,
fraudulent. If he gives an answer, it's a fraudulent, like an easy bake answer that is clearly not related to the question.
yeah. So what he does is,
I asked him something about like, you got all this money, but you don't have enough money to continue your project, so you're asking for more. Where did all the money go? And he's like, it's all tied up in accounting and stuff, and
yeah,
it's like I can't disprove that, but I also know he's lying.
yeah. And that's the thing is that if it's tied up in accounting, then that means it's not available to actually
Why
like
does
print
he
and
have
ship
an
the book.
accountant when he should be just delivering a book?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty easy if you actually can make the product, but that was just another thing is that there's a lot of times that when asked, not just Comicsgate specifically, but anyone who was even sometimes even the adjacent um, were notoriously evasive or would just lie when asked direct questions, kind of like this. So, in a way, this isn't like a reference to a specific thing in Comicscape, but it's a reference to the exact like
It's a
behavior,
great example
like
of how you
constant
can
behavior.
take resources from real life
Yeah,
to find like examples for
yeah,
character.
material to really mine for storytelling. That's something that Comicsgate can't even do except to play the victim and be like, "Oh, I'm stabbed in the back. Everyone's betraying me. Everybody betray me. I fed up in this whirl." But in this, there's so much more at play. It's much more it's more than just one dimensional, while also at the same time lampooning people who in real life are only one dimensional, which is not just the
It's
leaders or
actually more
figureheads, but the
it's
movement
more
itself.
dimensional than the real life person
Yeah,
it's
than the
based
real
off
life
of,
people, because
that it's
almost
mocking and making fun of.
because you can see this guy is just like a dishonest sort of public relations weasel, but at the same time, he's actually still slightly, as much as he's really
He's
fucking
at least
annoying.
capable. He's at least capable of doing his job.
Yeah.
So
Um,
he's not like Ethan in that way, in that respect.
Yeah, but so he mentions like instead of asking me that question, look at this video that makes this person look stupid, and they laugh at her and stuff. And he says, "Are you going to listen to me, a humble hero merchant?" Again, that's a fucking like verbatim quote from Ethan Van Sciver. And it's kind of funny how many people who claim to be Comicsgate supporters who that's one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to fucking be like, see people in Comicsgate, you shouldn't be buying his comics because he's making fun of your movement. I don't want it to be like that, but the thing is that
I don't
um,
want this. I don't want that sack of shit to be dragging down a review of a wonderful comic.
yes,
He has. He shouldn't. He's kind of like Tank.
yeah,
He has no
exactly.
business ruining so many songs.
You have so many wonderful,
He's
delightful,
ruining so many songs by having songs being written about him,
so
about
many.
his disgusting gay love for our blog.
Yeah, I can't believe he would ruin a band as wonderful and as cherished as 10cc. But but yeah, humble hero merchant. That is something that Ethan used to call himself all the time. The thing is, when it comes to the Comicsgate supporters who are clearly blatantly unaware of because they support this, some of them still buy this comic and say, "Oh, Tim and Mark, they're great. They're part of Comicsgate." Just clueless.
My favorite Comicsgate authors, and it's
Yeah,
like, oh wait, I thought they got kicked out of
just
Comicsgate,
but
and
they're
even if they begged for permission to get back into Comicsgate, they won't be allowed.
yeah, they're just hilariously clueless and it's kind of depressing and sad at their expense, of course, about how clueless they are about the idea of Tim and Mark supposedly being part of Comicsgate when they're not and not even through any choice. It's just through principle. Like Tim and Mark release comics, Comicsgate doesn't. Comicsgate sells a false promise. They're selling you potential, and then they take the money most of the time, don't even fucking deliver on the comic. Most of them just take the money and run. um, there are more cases in Comicsgate of creators taking the money and never delivering, never making anything, and just running off, or shelling out false promise after false promise, saying,
Almost,
"Oh, it's coming out right now, it's almost out, it's on its way, it's on," and then months pass and nothing happens.
it's almost to the point where it's actually a controversy when they actually finish anything.
Yeah,
But in
especially because
particular, also, they only usually even try to finish a comic when we finally mention something about it.
yeah, it's a
We're the ones
comic.
who have to bring them to heel.
Yeah, bring the teach the puppy a lesson. but um, but yeah, that's usually that's the big scandal when their comic comes out and it's so fucking bad, or it's just mediocre, and people realize that they hyped themselves up all that just for one stupid little fucking like 40-page nothing where no story is told, and it's just a bunch of like flashy visuals that are mostly
At
like
this
carried
point,
by the coloring
Tim and Mark have basically outproduced every single person in Comicsgate combined.
combined. Also, we've actually me and you have outproduced most people in Comicsgate. Most of them even combined. Some of them just individually, because a few people in Comicsgate actually put out two books. Some of them are just promising two books. Those people have not outproduced us. Because we've put out two books, and then we've had the third backup story in the end of Wall Might, or Wall Might 3 specifically. I mean the at the end of Magalorian. Um, Anyways, yeah. So in response to that, that was the thing is that he's like, "Oh yeah, what's this? We'll fucking check out." She's asking tough questions. We'll check out this video of her doing something embarrassing. She just like falls off a rodeo, one of
There's
those
a,
bar
even in
rodeo things.
particular is after the video, and it's like everyone's laughing, and they're like, "Ha, she just got owned,"
Yeah,
and she's like,
this
"Well,
one
that had
guy
nothing
says
to
she
do."
totally got owned. Definitely lost that argument, which is again direct. It's a direct and indirect reference, of course, to not only Comicsgate but a lot of not just people in Comicsgate, but even people who generally supported Comicsgate. Um, like a lot of like internet blood sports types, or just a
Yeah, that
lot
was
of
actually, I was
YouTubers
gonna
in
say,
general.
the fucking Ethan Ralph, the
Yeah,
whole Ethan Ralph show, where like his stupid chat is like judging people's arguments based on like tone, absolute tone policing.
well, Nick Rekieta also did that. In fact, the whole totally got owned, definitely lost that argument is like almost a direct reference to Nick Rekieta and his audience as well. making fun of them, but not even by name, but just by nature, because it's not just him. It's like any people who have a following or a crowd on YouTube or streaming or whatever, um, who like where the leader's sort of too pussy to ever fucking say anything that might lose them followers or something like that. But also, people who backed up Comicsgate when it was already obviously a fucking complete fraud. Um, and she points out that it was just a misdirection. It's like, oh, look at this stupid thing, and it just convinces everyone that somehow there was an argument that was lost. It's a reference to that behavior, and through that, a reference to even the specific people without having to name them. Like, I know Tim and Mark aren't saying this is about Ethan, Ralph, and Ricada and Comicsgate and all the Comicsgate people, streamer, YouTubers.
But it was a common enough tactic. It was a frequent tactic of that entire crowd.
Well, it's a rules for radicals tactic too.
Yes,
that's where it comes from, and it comes from the SJW behavior. And it's interesting how common, ironically,
honestly though, not.
But no. But yes, and she says the video had nothing to do with Polyradix, which again is also kind of a reference again to the Ribbit coin, where the argument was about the fucking like Polyradix sunglasses, even though Polyradix is a fictional fabric as it turns out. So it has something to do with sort of not magical properties in this universe, but just something that she works with. And it's interesting how it keeps coming up and actually has something to do with the behavior and the events in the story. So it's actually kind of funny to be familiar with Polyradix, which doesn't really even exist, but then keeps showing up in this, and I think that's cool. But yeah, it's a direct and also indirect reference. It's like a universal behavior kind of thing where people will just sort of misdirect and people will completely fall for it. I also like this one where I have to zoom way out, but amateur heroine backstabs employer. Again, the word backstab is a fucking direct reference to Ethan Van Sciver, and a lot of people in Comicsgate. Like Liam, you started saying that everything after a while about everything, because Liam Gray is basically, that's one of the things that most people don't realize about Liam Gray, is that all of his behavior that people are laughing at is really just Ethan Van Sciver's behavior, but in a more acceptable size and format for people to realize is cringe, lol, cow, whatever the fuck. When it comes from people who are more popular, like again the bigger YouTubers, that like all the ones we've mentioned, they exhibit the exact same behavior of whining and fucking self-pitying and victimizing, self-victimizing and that kind of stuff. But when it's to someone like Liam Gray, it's easy for everyone to realize to laugh at that. But when it's everyone else, they don't, the normie cattle don't understand that it's embarrassing and stupid. I do also like this, like, sort of fan art shows up on the screen here for Kamen America. Also, they go to Carrot again, or Kay, as we've known her for a bunch of years. But we're at George Burns Memorial Hospital, where Sylvia Prestige, aka Kamen UN, is recovering following her defeat of the monster. One of the things is that, Sylvia was the other girl who sort of shows up, Carly Vanders, at the beginning at prom or whatever. And it turns out, she's the new superhero from, the other guy, Meyer Lansky, who, she's basically like sort of his puppet at that point. And then, but other things play out from that. And again, we're not going to spoil that, but there's an interesting sort of play out for that. But he mentions the defeating the monster, oh, Scar. That's a trademark, by the way. It's all in the hyphen, which in a way is kind of a reference also, again, to the Comicsgate trademarking, where I think somebody tried to trademark it with just the space as a different trademark and that kind of shit. But again, The
They gotta
Comicsgate
pick it up.
trademark that supposedly Comicsgate owned, they still never released a comic under it. So you can't own a trademark for something when you never make anything with the trademark, which a lot of people missed out on too. But I thought that was kind of a funny, maybe not a direct reference or joke on that situation, but still. Um, and there's other story elements that show up, like the old lady that Carly gives her scarf to, that becomes like a public relations nightmare for some reason. Like to her, to Carly, it's like that was no big deal. I just gave an old lady a scarf I made myself. It's my scarf to give away, and that's where Lansky was like, "Oh, dude, you can't do that. She's some homeless broad. You got to be classy, and don't you understand how this looks? That very typical public relations shilling. Um, the old lady comes back and stuff is revealed about her, and I won't give away any of that. You can read the comic and find out some interesting callbacks to that. Um, and it plays in generally with the whole story, and some really good, interesting elements with that. Um, and then I won't give away the story. So if you want to go see it, it just released on Indiegogo. So if you missed it, you can go check it out on Indiegogo. All that kind of thing. And then the end ends with a bunch of fan art because Common America blew up even from the first issue, but it's blowing up even more now. And I actually backed the Indiegogo because they have the $25 tier for the calendar, and I'm like, I want the calendar, and I don't even necessarily want to use it as a calendar. I want to just have the calendar and go put it in a bag or something. It's like, there, I got the calendar.
It would be more valuable to actually preserve that than most other comic books.
Yes, the Common America calendar will be better and more worthwhile than any Comicsgate comic. Um, I thought this was interesting though that the Flork of Cows guy actually did fan art for Common America because that guy's fucking massive on the Twitter, and he does actually a lot of really funny comics, and sort of like his goofy design is actually kind of a meme, like the this over here. Can I fucking middle click on this? Yeah, no, it doesn't. But yeah, the way he draws these sort of like deflated head kind of guys. He even drew Common America as one, and then Calf Fun, uh, who I think I want to really try and get a Laley from. They got a bunch of art from him for Black Hops also, but I think the dynamism of his art is fucking just fantastic, and I really love how a lot of his stuff looks. But so one of his picks for Common America is at the end here, doing the splits nicely as well. Um, so, anyways, yeah, just the as far as the comic, you don't need us to convince you if the comic's good. It's obviously good. You can look at all the other people who are actually excited by the content, not just the hype or the shallow, like fucking look at how it looks, look at how
It's
shiny
going
it
to
looks.
save comics. They're going to save
We're gonna
comics.
save gimmicks, just the fucking retard faggot shit. The empty. I mean, it's what Harlan Ellison even described. It's like what it is. It's hype. It's fucking It's
Retard piss clowns.
yes. It's all the fucking the shilling and the bullshit and the gay queeracity. That kind of thing. Hold on a second. Can I even show the other? Because there's been a variety of here's one. There's been a variety of cameos from the various books, and oh yeah, here's one. In fact, I have one that doesn't have the word balloons because word balloons, which I'm looking for the other ones.
Word doubloons.
Doubloons. Yeah, there's a bunch of fucking cameos, and it's like, did I save them in the Laylee folder, or do I just save them in the? Oh wait, no. Here's this one. Yeah, okay. You know what? Let me go over these first. So I will fucking zoom on these. In fact, yeah, this reminds me. There's actually many multiple fucking references throughout all the books. So let me dig these up. Oh yeah. Uh Here's another one. I mean, I was also kind of thinking, oh, the fucking Goblin Slayer in Walmart. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. That's not a fucking Easter egg. That's the actual comic that I wrote. Let's see. Okay, there's a bunch which I fucking which I'm not even sure I have all of them, but here's one where this was from Twitter where I think he posted just a bunch of Easter eggs in general. Like here's one Otis Stein and Ralph and just other people, but then Laylee's Midway was on another, and I think this is from Black Ops 3 or something. Actually, I don't fucking remember. But then here's Thomas and Laylee showing up in the background as prom king and queen or something. I mean, it's Thomas just wears a crown, a cute, adorable little crown. And yeah, he Tim sent me the version without the lettering just to show Thomas and Laylee, just sort of standing out right behind them. I like seeing Laylee happy and cute, and even like with Animu Snout, which actually is just kind of cute in general, like as a background detail. There's also this from Black Ops 2, where there's a whiteboard that says to do Clumsor was here, watch plus listen to SWC revived on YouTube. That was our old channel, and then at the very bottom, which I don't think I can even zoom in enough on. Oh yeah, now I can. Right here was the old Smug Laylee by Clumsor from a long time ago that got thrown into the corner. And I asked if he could like sort of throw in a little reference to Clumsor since he did the art, and so Tim did that.
It's always great.
From Kamen America 1, I think there was another reference in Kamen America 1, but I do know that in this one, like the middle of a panel, she shows up. Carly is wearing a King Wolf shirt, King Wolf comics, or just King Wolf in general. And it's kind of funny how the King Wolf logo really took off because it's just like simple and cute and happy, but also sort of a good example. There's also from Black Ops 3 specifically was the Elsvilla painting of Laylee, the sort of almost Sailor Moon Laylee that's in this doorway in the page where Patriotter has Rigger Tortoise on a chain, and he's just going around killing a bunch of people with it. Also, for much smaller over on the side here is a little picture of some gay nerd. But anyways, yeah. So that's those are the various. Yeah, I was saying there's like 3 books in a row that we have, but I think it's more than 3 now because it was Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Kamen America 1, and Kamen America 2. So that's at least 4, and I think there was another reference somewhere too. But then also, of course, the Goblin Slayer thing, which is
does that count?
I it counts enough, I suppose. Anyways, so yeah, I just instead of just reviewing Kamen America 2, because the review is easy, it's a good comic at the end. I wanted to go over like the sort of the secret lore of the
deep dive, hidden
derp dive.
hidden figures.
I want to go over the hidden figures and the secret messages.
Might call those hidden figures something else.
I don't even think I necessarily went over all of the secret messages, hidden references, and stuff. I just went over some of them. I screen capped, while I was reading the comic, I just hit print screen a few times to be like, oh, that one's good, that one's good. And, I could have gone over the actual story and stuff, but the story just speaks for itself. It stands on its own. And those references are just little details that sort of build and show how the real life events can sort of be associated and sort of build on a story that's about other stuff as well. It's about generally the whole story is about how Kamen America is learning to sort of do virtue for its own reward and that kind of thing. and you know it's a nice little tale for that in a sense with just fun adventure and being lighthearted enough too. But in a way, it being lighthearted in that way is a better um, it's a better opportunity, a better avenue, a better way of sort of putting in little mentions of real life things that that associate to the story you want to tell, though, because that's what the thing is. You have to still have a story to tell, and that's one of my favorite things about Common America is that ultimately it's about the story that it's telling. It's not about the references or even secret references or whatever, or even about the Easter eggs. Those are all just sort of a dressing on top of it. If it didn't have any of those, it would still have the story and it would still tell a good, interesting, fun, cute, happy story that also is about, some real life occurrences, not even the specific ones, but generalized. Like, this would be a great comic to show to kids because they could learn about, like, you're going to meet people like this in your life who just distract and misdirect and lie and are concerned only with fame. And, you in Common America too, it's sort of she is sort of getting sucked in to that sense of wanting appreciation, which isn't inherently a bad thing. It's not like it's bad that she wants it, but it's like it can sort of really suck you in and sort of get you lost in the real goal of what you want to do or why you should do it. I didn't even show anything of the new Common America chick, the third chick on the team. I didn't show any of that. So there's all sorts of stuff still in the book for anyone to go check out if you haven't seen it yet. It's not even that long of a book, but I just didn't show much from it because that should be up to the reader to go check out. And the books are cheap too. They're fucking like most other books. The Comicsgate books are half as long. They're like 40 pages or something, sometimes 20 pages, and they can be 20, $25. Some of them are charging $200 for a book that's not even 100 pages. It's really bizarre. But with Common America, it's just like $10 and you get the book, or $5 and you can just get the digital copy. So that it's fun and delightful. So
And they're doing everything right.
Yeah,
This is how
exactly.
it should be done. This is how every single project should be handled.
And that's also why I was really happy to just be able to, me and brother, to do just a little backup story for the Wall Might book because it's just because we want to work with people who actually do it right, who are actually doing the good stuff, who actually make the books, the comics, who fucking they put up and shut up or whatever. They're not just talking a bunch of bullshit and selling promises, empty promises, and that kind of thing. They're actually making the content, and so that's why I'm really glad that we worked with them. And and at this point, like I'm just gonna buy their books. Like we've been getting all of their books just as gifts because Tim and Mark are just they've just been fans of us. But as YouTubers in a way, which we're not even really YouTubers, just for people who make videos, talking about stuff that nobody else would ever talk about. But also as comic creators now, we're peers, and that's very good, and I like that. Anyways, yeah. So just wanted to go over that, and it's always fun to see that. Walmart 3, of course, highly recommend that as well. And Black Ops 3, I also liked, and I'm looking forward to the tie-in. But Common America is still definitely easily my favorite of
If
the
there's
whole
one thing,
shared
if we're
universe.
going to, I mean, that's our ultimate. What we have to say about it is that I would definitely recommend it. I
Mhm.
would say though, it was like it was so breezy of a read. It seems like so much happens in such a short amount of time, especially compared to other comic books, that they really could have almost stretched it out more. It could have been a longer book
And it's
because
nice that it isn't in a way.
yeah, it's the eternal question of how you create something as a creator, especially as a writer.
Yeah, the
Is
pacing of it.
Do you stretch something out, take full advantage of the potential possibilities, or do you shorten it, curtail it, to get it over with?
Or to,
Like
to get to the point.
so many comics don't know how to do either.
Yeah,
They either make it go on for 9 issues, or they make it 1 page, or half a page, or a single panel, and it's over with.
yeah, a lot of them really have no understanding of pacing, and with Kamen America 2 especially, it's got a great understanding of pacing. But the other comics do as well, where it's the thing about like Black Ops is that I prefer Kamen America because it's got more story, whereas Black Ops is like more action. But Black Ops 3, the thing I liked about that is that there was more story to that as well. Um, and from now on, instead of like even expecting any free copies, I'm just going to be buying them, I think, because I save a lot of money not really having any interest in any other comic at all. Any other comics. Like other comics that I wanted to even have interest in, and I would buy them. And I would be like, yeah, no, who cares? Fucking, this isn't that good. It's like, it doesn't get to the point. It doesn't make any point. It's not really about anything. These ones, it's funny. I pay for every fucking issue, and I haven't really had to so far, which is nice. But yeah, from now on, I'm just gonna fucking, even though I'm pretty sure I don't have to buy any issues of Common America anything from now on, I'm going to anyways. That's just how much I like the comic. So, unlike share, comment, I guess check out our new fucking YouTube channel, because you can just go just check out Thomas Royloop on YouTube, because now you can go check out our videos again on YouTube, I guess we fucking for as long as that goes on, because we've always been a target of false flagging for many many years. So but again, maybe just another burner account, whatever, who knows if it'll last. But we're back on YouTube, so go subscribe to us there. We're on BitChute still too, though, of course. So enjoy, and if we're drunk, fuck off, and I forgot what our fucking forced catchphrases
Go
even
away
are.
now.
If we're drunk, go away now.
My favorite catchphrase.
Oh yeah,
Instant catchphrase.
the most important catchphrase, of course. Should have listened to Shady Web Comics.